play a game.
They're here.
Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho.
And when you're down here with me, you float down!
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What's up?
What is up? I'm the bad guy, Nick H. As
And-
always.
The H is silent.
They's silent.
And I am Mr. Fuentes. I will be Mr. Fuentes today.
Mr. Fuentes.
Yeah, sometimes I need to actually do this as Saul because, being in Mr. Fuentes mode, it's totally different personality than Saul mode. So, I mean, maybe one day. Maybe not today, though. Today we're Mr. Fuentes.
Fuentes.
Yeah.
So today is your movie pick.
Today is my movie pick. I picked Fear Street Part 1, 1994. I recently watched the whole trilogy, probably like a month ago or so. I mean, I'll get into what I thought about most of the stuff, and I have no idea if we're actually going to ever review Part 2 and 3 with this. But so I might spoil some of Part 2 and 3 just so y'all know
Damn.
ahead of time. But yes, Fear Street. It was a Netflix film trilogy that they did. Which, hold on one second. Something was stabbing me in the foot. What the hell was that? Anyway, it was a film trilogy, horror film trilogy that Netflix put together. It was directed by a woman named Lee Janica, and she, honestly, I was looking at her I wouldn't say stats, I guess, in movie terms for directors. You got your stats. What movies did you direct? Anyway, her stats, the only ones that I saw was she did a movie in 2014 called Honeymoon, which was also a drama fantasy horror film. I wouldn't say it's similar to what she did on this one, but it definitely was another horror themed film that she did. And then she's done a lot of little TV stuff. She directed, I guess, I know in TV they sometimes have different directors for different episodes, but I guess she directed a few of the Scream TV series episodes. So that was pretty cool. And she's a woman. You don't really have that many women directors who make successful movies. I think what did I hear recently that there was a movie that came out and it was like the first it was the Candyman movie that came out. She was one of the first box office hit number ones, like female directors, like ever, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but she like dominated with the Candyman movie. So I mean, that's pretty cool that stuff like that's happening. And then yeah, anyway, I kind of watched it again before we got onto this, and I really, I still actually like it more than I thought I was. It's kind of cool actually watching it after you watch the whole trilogy and then go back to number one, because they start dropping hints from number one of what stuff's going to end up like by number three. You kind of start seeing the hints and things, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know the symbolism of, that, and then it showed it. Now I'm just like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, if you watch the whole thing already through one time, I would suggest go back and watching it again, because you will see those subtle hints, and it'll just make the experience a lot more cooler. Anything to add to that?
Anything to add to your fun facts or
I don't know. I'm just
Or
talking
credits.
about the thing. I think the first thing we do is the spoiler-free rating, or is that just a synopsis?
well, it starts off with a synopsis.
Synopsis. So
Yeah.
so Fear Street, like I said before, it is a trilogy. So there's 3 parts to this movie. This one's number 1, and number 1 you deal. Well, I guess let's get into the cast first, because I did have a rant about this. So our casters are basically a bunch of newcomers for the most part. In the very first scene, you see Maya Hawke, it's either Hawk or Haywalk, because the E would make an A sound. Anyway, she's in Stranger Things, I believe, season 3 of Stranger Things. We're in season 3, right? Is 4 about to come out, or do we already do 4?
I think 4 is still on delay or about to
Yeah,
come out.
right. And so, she was in 3, and she was the girl that was like co-workers with my man Steve, and this is where I'm getting to the rant. So that show has thoroughly pissed me off multiple times. First off, you got my boy Steve. My boy Steve went up against a fucking Demogorgon. That's what it's called, right? I haven't seen it in a while. Head on for the girl that he was dating beforehand to protect her, while the other guy was basically just like, monster! And then she ended up getting with the other guy later on. And I was like, dude, my boy Steve, he just risked his life for you. You're not even going to give him that second chance? That's messed up. Can't believe you. But then I was like, it's cool. It's whatever. Steve becomes like a prominent character in the second season as well. He becomes friends with kids, which is very awkward, but it's what happens. He's a older teenager, friends with a bunch of preteens, basically. But, they had a bonding experience, so I'll let it pass. They just fought aliens and stuff together. Or not really aliens, just dimensional beings. Anyway. But then by the third season, you get this chick, Maya. Well, the actor Maya. And she gets into this movie or this show, and you can tell they have like some chemistry. She's kind of a nerd. He's kind of like a little, you can tell he's into her, and you can tell they're about to have their moment. And then again, they steal my man Steve's thunder. You remember how, Nick? You remember how they stole his thunder a second time? You're not going to answer? Okay.
I'm not going to answer.
They stole his thunder by making the character a lesbian. And I get it. I get that there needs to be representation all across the thing. But my man Steve, man, give him a break. He's having his little heart broken multiple times. He just wants to find love. And then you make the character lesbian. You couldn't just let him have it. No, you couldn't let him have it. Couldn't be another female character. No, had to be the one that was Steve's love interest. And I'm upset about it. Could have been anyone else. But why Steve's love interest? Why my man Steve? It's always my man Steve. Anyway.
Justice for Steve. Hashtag.
Justice for Steve, bro. Man, that still makes me mad. I still think about it. I get angry. I'll wake up angry, like, what the fuck?
Every morning is
why y'all do this to my man Steve? Man, I hope season 4 he has a badass like arc, man. Because I want my man Steve to be coming out on top. He risking his life and shit, being all lovey-dovey and stuff like that. And then, he's still cool as shit. Man.
So that's what happens. All the risk, no reward.
I know, right? You end up with the goofy guy who's scared of a shadow or some crap. Anyway, so the synopsis of
that was the whole synopsis, actually.
This is the synopsis of the whole story. It's about how my man Steve got his groove back. But no, it's so it starts off this town called Shady. I think it's Shadyville, right?
Shadyville.
There's Shadyville and Sunnyside, yeah. So there's Shadyville and Sunnyside, and apparently, every once in a while, some crazy stuff happens in Shadyside, and someone goes crazy. Well, he starts off the movie with someone going crazy. You find out a little bit later that the town is cursed by someone named Sarah Fear. Fear. And they're trying to, reverse this curse. One of these, they feel like the witch is after her, and this is kind of the movie about how they're trying to get the witch off their back. Sarah Fear. Um, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I think that was pretty good synopsis.
That was just pretty legit synopsis. If I ever heard one.
I think the first part of it was the best about my man Steve.
That was just a little bonus.
Um,
Spoiler for
well,
rating.
Now I'm not gonna look past the fact that I do think this movie's fun. I'm not gonna look past the fact that it still has, and this is kind of a spoiler, but it still has. You could tell it has not a full movie budget in a sense. Like it does, but it doesn't. Like, but I'll explain more of that later. So in my view, it was like a 3.5. It was definitely still enjoyable to watch. To me, a 4 is almost like something you wouldn't mind watching like all the time, and a 5 is like guaranteed watch no matter what. So to me, a 3.5 is pretty high for this.
3.5, huh? I'm going with the same 3.5. Much at the rating.
3.5. 3.5 Danny Trejos.
Danny Trejos, yeah.
Or a Danny Trejo, and a Danny.
Of the Trejo.
There's no Trejo. It's a 3.5.
It's just okay. It's Danny.
It's just Danny.
Danny no Trejo.
No Trejo. Danny no Trejo, exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty legit, but we could talk about that in a second. 3.5. Okay.
3.5,
cool.
baby. Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. Yes,
Go check it out.
This
Netflix.
trilogy is on Netflix, like I've said before.
Exclusively on Netflix.
Exclusively on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, I believe.
So you can find it on Hulu.
Yeah, I would recommend checking it out. It is a fun little ditty they kind of put together. The first one, second one, and third one. I mean, if you like the first one, you're gonna like the other two. They're all pretty similar in vibe for the most part. So yeah, I would definitely suggest checking them out. But that was your spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. And then your spoilers happens right now. Everyone just dies.
So yeah, everyone dies.
No happy ending.
And they never find the witch. So yeah.
Then what happens in the other two movies? Well, that's just different characters.
You ever watch a video of a man falling to the center of the earth? It's about 3 movies long. But yeah. So let's get started. So do you have a favorite scene before I start talking about things? Because I'm about to just go all in, bro.
It isn't about to go all in with without any warnings. I mean, sure we get a spoiler warning, but this isn't scene warnings. I have a couple of scenes, I guess. I go with the kill
You've
scene.
been warned that scenes are gonna be talked about.
My favorite kill scene is with they put that girl's head through the freaking, was it bread slicer or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty crazy.
That was pretty messed up too.
I was like, damn. And that's because the guy, what was I forgot his name.
They gave you like a false sense of hope too, that like you're like hoping that chick would drown in time and that it was just gonna stop like right then and there, and nope, her head just kept going.
What? So it just undoes the curse, whatever.
Right? That's what we're waiting for.
Her head was like, it's like, oh, it's okay, just a little you off the top, but you mean nothing.
Just a little serious. Off the top, right?
Just still on top.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is more of a least favorite scene, but yeah, I'll talk about that in the least favorite scene part.
So that was my overall main kill. For I guess scenery, like type of whatever, or just creepy vibe is when that they come across that woman who does the singing, like she's against like it was like a light post.
Mm-hmm.
And she just goes like freaking just tries to go for like a stab against for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
was her name, like Ruby something?
I think one of my favorite scenes was like right in the beginning, just like, honestly, I didn't think that chick was gonna die because like I knew I didn't remember at the time, but I remembered later that she was in Stranger Things, and then I got mad about my homie Steve. But um yeah, I mean, I really liked that beginning. I thought it was a pretty, cool beginning. You kind of got an idea for what you're about to get into. Um, and then like the stabbing. I've noticed like at least in this series, I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but it definitely keeps I guess it keeps the story going. But people seem to get stabbed a lot in this series, and they just kind of keep going. Like they don't really like, by the end it's almost like, oh yeah, I got stabbed like 15 minutes ago, but I'm walking stand up straight now, and I'm not even holding my hand on my stab wound anymore. Like,
Don't sell it.
what?
Said don't sell it.
Yeah, it's just like, I got stabbed, but I'm basically superhuman at this point.
Yes.
Which, I think that was I don't know if I think we talked about that once on one of the episodes, that like basically, you know if there's such thing as like angels and demons, and in most horror films, you got a lot of people harboring evil spirits and something like that. So if someone can harbor an evil spirit, then to have balance in the world, there has to be good spirits as well. In a sense, that's kind of at least the idea of equivalency in the world, that there's going to be balance in it. Anyway, where I'm going with this is that if evil was going against heroines or heroes, um, then maybe they just get a little bit of God strength in a sense. Like they can get stabbed a couple of times and just walk it off, and because they're having like more of the opposite effect, because they're resisting the evil, they're actually getting assistance from the good to be able to get stabbed basically 3 times and then kind of just keep running and hiding like it didn't happen. That's kind of my theory on like those types of situations. But yeah, I mean, why was I talking about that to begin with? Yeah, the beginning, that girl gets stabbed, and then she like runs away after she gets stabbed, basically, um, and then she ends up getting stabbed multiple times and dying. And I just thought it was a pretty cool, it's a pretty good intro. It's kind of like I said, what you're about to get into, and then that kid getting shot in the head, and it's just like, oh,
Wow. Got shot.
and then he just died.
He died. I mean,
I mean, it was a pretty nice intro to the whole thing. Um,
I'm pretty sure I had a good time with that doll though.
Yeah. What was her name again? I forgot her name. Deflated Tits. But yeah, I mean, overall, another thing that I noticed was like the first like 3 songs or 3 or 4 songs they played for the soundtrack in the beginning. They're pretty dope songs. Like they did the Nobody. No, it's not called Nobody Loves Me. I don't know, but it's a song by Portishead. It's actually one of my favorite songs. I don't know the name because I was just listening to the album from beginning to end, and I really just don't pay attention to the track names. But it's off the Portishead Dummy album, but it's a really good song. And then they do another song a little bit after that, like almost back to back. And I think it was a Radiohead song.
Creep.
It might have been Creep. But I was like, dude, this is a solid soundtrack. And then like the music kind of just like stopped playing as much, like tracks at like halfway through the movie, and it was just like, okay.
Can't afford any more song song uses.
Yeah, they just were like, yeah, they put all their
the budget.
They put all their soundtrack budget in the first half of the movie, and they're like, oh, well, can't do any more. Yeah, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole idea of the movie was pretty clever. I liked how, like, I remember watching the movie the first time, and whenever they did the scene where they did the elaborate trap to get all the people inside the bathroom, I thought that was actually going to be the end of the movie. Like, I didn't look at the time play, or the runtime. So I was like watching it, and I was like, oh, like yeah, they have a pretty good plan. Okay, this makes sense. Yeah, yeah. And so they do it, and then like, what? It wasn't the end of the movie. Like, what else are they gonna do? What else could they possibly do? And so
Wait, there's more.
exactly. Oh, it's like it was like the Billy Mays of freaking horror movies. But wait, there's more. And I did kind of like that too. Like I liked a lot of how they built up things. Like, the characters themselves felt helpless, so you kind of felt helpless for them. Especially after that big part, one of the chicks, I forget her name. Let's see, what does it say? Other hot chick.
Okay.
I think it was Kate. Kate was the one that made out with Josh. Anyway, yeah, it was Kate. Julia Rahad. Anyway, Kate was like, "We already blew them up. Like, what else could we possibly do? Like, they're never gonna stop coming for us." And I was just like, "Dude, like, they're right. Like, what are they gonna do?" I'm just like, "Oh shit! Like, what are they gonna do to progress this movie further?" And I kind of like what they came up with to like keep progressing the movie. I'm always super interested. I wouldn't say obviously, but obviously, who the director of the three? Because actually, this chick is the same director for all three of the movies. Well, I guess she didn't screenwrite it. Whoever wrote the screenplay had already wrote 3 movies in line. So like Netflix was like, "I'm all in, bro. You're already signed for a 3-movie contract. Like, get me 3 different stories that all match together, and we're golden, pony boy. Like, let's do this." And yeah, they went in. But yeah, I mean, I like the flow of the movie a lot. The little, I don't know, like some of it. I don't know if it's just because like I'm an adult at this point. Like I know what I was like when I was a teenager. That like when they get to the love scenes in general, like it's just like dumb kids who think they're in love and gonna be together forever just because they're going through one traumatic experience. Like, how naive y'all all are. And what you wouldn't do for love, I remember being that kid too.
Yeah, it's not being
She's gonna break your heart later, girl.
the kid who helped himself out.
Huh? Oh yeah.
The
That kid was hilarious.
You're going straight to Pound Town too?
Which, I didn't really think about it, but I guess they were trying to show all the different kind of like, different sexualities, because you had the 2 girls, and then you had the girl and the one boy in the bathroom, and then you had him, and it's like there's solo, there's traditional, and there's lesbians over here. Like, we're gonna get all the groups in, make sure everyone's included, to make sure everyone feels included. But now I'm just noticing that now that I think about that scene. Also, that I don't know how young that boy was, but I feel like he was really young, and that girl was like the valedictorian of our high school. Maybe he was a freshman. I don't know.
I don't know about character-wise, but I think in real life, they're like a year apart.
Really? Wow. Crazy. That boy, that Benjamin Flores Jr., he definitely looks young. And I don't know what his age is, but he definitely looks young.
What's my age again? What's my age?
What's my age again? What's my age again? But yeah, I mean, the scene, the graphics weren't like terrible. One of my favorite parts is, and it's actually kind of silly, but it's funny, is every time the Nightwing killer, the guy with the hacky sack, who was a ripoff of Friday the 13th, or
Part 2 Jason.
Yeah, exactly. And so is the whole second movie. Spoiler warning. That every time he comes out, like he's like out and exposed, he's just like running. He's just doing everything really fast and really agile. every time. Like, there's no walking, there's no like coming up there. It's just like it just comes out of nowhere. Always like sprinting, basically, no matter what he's doing. He just does everything so fast and aggressively, and I don't know why I found it funny every time I saw his like character come into play. It was just like,
Whenever they have him set up for that trap, he goes right into the stall and they have like a dummy there. It's like, the way he just swings at because they have like a dummy plant in one of the restroom stalls. Just like, yeah, it's overrunning. I mean, even when dead, you still gotta be keeping that figure going. Gotta be in shape.
Yeah. Oh crap! Hold on a second. I did something bad. Okay, cool. I'm back on. I think I did something bad. I was using my phone for internet, and I think it was eating all my internet battery. I mean, all my phone battery. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, as far as favorite scenes, I did like, the graphics. I did like the characters. I did like all the killers for the most part. They all had kind of unique backstories. The soundtrack was pretty cool. At least the first half. But now my dislikes. So my boy Steve. No, just kidding.
Oh shit.
No, I mean, a lot of my dislike. What I was trying to say earlier, like, you could tell like it's not like a theater grade movie. I'm not sure 100% sure why, but one scene specifically made me remind me. It reminded me of like a TV show kind of like drama or build up. But it was like the scene where it's more toward the beginning. Sam and what's her name? Dina? Her name's Dina? Weird. Anyway, the other main character chick girl, whenever they start, having a little fight about, you broke up and you left Shady Side and you went to Sunnyvale and now you're in Coolsville with Scooby-Doo. And so like they're all having a little argument. And while that's happening, the people in the football field are starting to have an argument as well. So like both of these scenes are escalating together and they're kind of going back and forth between each other, like the build up until like the break finally happened. And I don't know why, but that right there reminds, like, almost my brain was like, yeah, you can tell the budgeting for this wasn't right, because for some reason that scene by itself made me feel, and I can't explain to you, I'm not a movie buff, I don't know proper wording or like proper like stuff about why, but that scene is like stuff you see in TV shows. It's not really stuff you see in the way they built that up. It didn't feel like a movie, or at least a new age movie. Maybe that was something they did in 1994. Maybe that's what they were trying to replicate. But I could tell, like, when just watching that scene, I was like, yeah, this is like a Netflix movie for sure. Another like dislike in general is like, I can't remember at the moment. You want to say a dislike while I think about this?
They dislike.
Oh, another dislike is my boy. He's finally getting some skin, getting that hot valedictorian chick Kate, and he's making out with her in bathrooms and getting kisses before supermarkets, and then they kill off Kate, and that was really messed up. That was my boy. Hold on, let me look for his name.
Boy,
that was my boy Josh. Man,
Josh.
My boy Josh trying to get some, and y'all were like, nah, her head's going into the bread grinder. Or the bread cutter.
You thought you're gonna find love? Nah. Not even in the bad times can you hook up with anyone.
Man, you thought you found love, instead you found loaf.
Loaf.
Moment
of silence for
my homie Josh. Oh wait, are we talking about Kate? Yeah, she died, I guess. But my homie Josh isn't gonna get some now, so. My homie
Josh. Does he?
Maybe. Yeah, that was messed up. That was that really upset me. Also, like, I guess it was Plan B. Yeah, sure, I get it. But Plan A to give her all the pills was kind of funny when they could have just drowned her. Like that wasn't the first thought for some reason. But I guess they were pretty sure they knew the combination to get this done right. So I guess I could see why they went with that plan. But yeah, see this movie, like it kept me on my feet, and that's what I did like about it. Is like, they had plans and all the plans kept getting ruined. So they had to like come up with like plan Bs all the time for a lot of different things. At least for the two plans they came up with, both of them needed plan Bs. And I think it made the movie more exciting. Like you're like, whoa, she dropped all the pills. She needs to take all those pills too. What are they gonna do? Oh shit, she's gonna drown the hole. And then, yeah, and then you're like, yeah.
So we're drawing the girl on. It's like, hurry up, hurry up and fucking drown her already.
Hurry up and drown. What the hell?
I can't do it. I'm going back on my. I don't want to die. You're gonna die if you don't die.
Yeah, and every time I thought it was like the ending of the movie, it was always like not the ending of the movie. Like, when you find out Sam like gets possessed at the end and she stabs Deanna or Deanna, and I thought that was the end of the movie. I'm not lying. Like I thought she just died. I thought she got stabbed and died, and then it goes down to the other kid, and that was gonna be the end of the movie. But then she like puts her hand on her, and I'm just like, oh crap, what happened? Did she kill her? And then she just, we know how it ends. But I thought that was the ending there too. There was like two different spots I thought were the ending, and they got me. They got me two times. I mean, genuinely, I don't have a bunch of gripes about this movie, to be honest. I mean, it's not a terrible movie to watch, but it's also like, yeah, there's some good parts to it, but I mean, it's just a good watch, pretty much. There's not really anything too much to complain about, I don't think. I mean, even the acting and the story progression, it doesn't really seem forced, really. It just kind of seems to happen naturally. I don't know, you watch some movies and it's just like, why did they go do that random thing? It's like to progress the story, of course, duh. But I don't really get that feeling in this movie. Oh god, I'm so screwed. I got 5% power left. I'm gonna have to pause while you talk for a little bit, and I go get my charger.
You get your charger.
Huh. All right, you can talk about your least favorite scenes, and I'll go watch them later.
What the? I don't know about least favorite scenes, to be honest. Shit. There's that. I don't know. It's not really even the least favorite scene at all. It's just some of the funnier moments in the movie. How they're in the jail, the jail scene, and they come across that the mall employee. I think he got arrested just for like tagging up the place or something like that. And how Josh, I think Josh gives him like a little, it's a paperclip or something like that to let him out. And how that guy just gives him the business card. It's pretty funny scene.
What's up, dude?
It wasn't
Man,
really like
that's crazy. You're right. I hate that scene too.
I didn't say anything about least favorite scene. I was just mentioning that I was trying to say that scene where they had that guy locked up, one of the mall employees, for like they locked him up for. They arrested him for the tagging up the
Oh yeah, yeah,
place. And now Josh, he's all asking. He's like, "Come on, can you help me out or something?" And Josh gives him like one of those paperclip or something like that.
yeah.
Get himself untied or
Then he gives
unlocked.
him a card. He's like, "Oh, you won, homie, homie." Yeah, that was a pretty good scene. Actually, I thought he was one of the people that got killed earlier in the movie. So I think they said that 7 people died inside the mall. When they do the little news thing in the very beginning of the movie, I think I heard that 7 people got killed. So I thought that maybe he was one of them. As far as I know, he was the only, or she was the only one that got killed. But there was someone else that was like dead in a chair whenever they were running through the lobby. Man, I can't think about that girl, that scene. I just get mad. It was my homie Steve. Anyway, justice for Steve. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, I don't really have too many big gripes about this movie. Just Stranger Things and what they did to my
Stranger
homie Steve.
Things. This whole stream is stream for Steve.
Stream for Steve.
People are like, who are not even Stranger Things fans, like, who the fuck is Steve? Are you talking about Steve from Blue's Clues?
Yeah, F that guy too, running out like my dad and trying to come back saying he's sorry 20
made a
years later.
big triumph return.
I just want to let you know I never forgot you.
You look good, by the way.
I never forgot you either. Left me with my stepdad Joe.
Stepdad Joe, Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe. I don't even.
They're brothers.
Everyone stopped watching Blue's Clues after that. Well, at least all the 15-year-olds that were still watching Blue's Clues stopped watching Blue's Clues.
What the hell?
All the little kids, they didn't know the difference, so they kept watching Blue's Clues.
Is this Steve? No. Did you not see the episode where he left to college?
Yeah, and then somehow there was like a Filipino, guy hosting, and I don't even know the story arc to that. I mean, I guess Joe just had to go at some point.
So I got to bounce now.
Now you're gonna get freaking George. You got Steve, Joe, and George. And then somehow Salt and Pepper make paprika. I don't even know how Blue's Clues world works, man.
Magic.
Blue was a girl. That's so messed up. Because there was like magenta for the longest time. And I was over here thinking like, oh, cool, there's a little boy dog and a little girl dog. And then you find out Blue's a girl. And you're like, oh, so they're both girls? Oh. I mean, it doesn't matter. I just, I don't know. I just thought they would be, cute to grow up to adult puppies or something. But like I said, you shouldn't be, all the 15-year-olds. They're already thinking other thoughts at that point.
Or are they? Slogans.
So
got any slogans for us?
The slogan for this movie is face the evil.
Face the evil.
So Fear Street 1994. It was the witch.
Fear Street. Part 1, 1994. Fear is not a factor.
Fear Street 1994. Damn, R.L. Stine made something besides Goosebumps?
Shocker.
Fear
Street.
Oh, go ahead.
Justice for Steve.
Justice for Mommy Steve.
So what does that do with it? Steve.
Yeah, I need to rewatch the whole series so I can just bring up Steve a little more passionately later. Because I remember when I first saw it.
I expect you to wear a Steve shirt from now on.
Dude, I was gonna get some homemade shirts that said hashtag Team Steve with Steve's face on it, and then get a whole nother one like F F whoever the other guy is and have his face with an X like council sign on him. Yeah, they did my homie Steve wrong like multiple times in this series. See, he was kind of like, I wouldn't say the bully, but he was kind of the bully in a sense in the first one, and then he kind of like changed his leaf to like more of a better person. And then he saved that one girl, and my homie Steve, they got no credit for that. And then on the second one, he's like basically a reformed bully in a sense. You know, he's hanging out with kids now. And then you get to freaking the real freaking monster bully guy, and he like, I think he kicked Steve's ass like multiple times in that season, like bad too. And yeah, it was just not good. And then so yeah, then Steve gets to season 2, gets his ass kicked like 3 times or something. And then season 3 happens, and he hooks up with this girl, and you're like, finally justice for my homie Steve. You know, he beat up the Demogorgon. He saved the girl. He reformed. He's a reformed bully. He's protecting little kids now from bullies, and he's like giving them rides to the mall and shit. And he freaking got beat up a bunch of times by this one guy. So yeah, man, we're gonna redeem my homie Steve. And then chick that he likes is a lesbian. Just not ever gonna catch a break, my homie Steve. Just
It's gonna happen in season 4.
It better happen season 4. I mean, I'm gonna be so pissed. If it doesn't, the internet will know by my presence about how angry I am about my homie Steve.
Gonna write to them.
It's gonna be so bad that the actor that plays Steve is gonna have to reach out to me like, dude, you need to chill out because like you're causing some major issues over here with my character. Just like, dude, but I want justice for you. I'm just an actor. Well, I want justice for that guy. Oh yeah, anyway. Fear Street, 1994. Fear, Sarah, Fear. Fear Street, 1994. Huh. Fear, 1994. Why won't you die? Oh, Fear, 1994. My brother didn't OD. He didn't die. Let's see. I can't think of anything else. What about you?
I don't think I got anything for
that. Fear Street, 1994. There's another part.
There's another part. How would have ended it?
Okay, so this is where I'm like, yo, they needed to add some time traveling to this shit. But no, I think after the chick, we find out she's possessed, and then she got stabbed. You know, that scene where it goes back to where the kid is, and he's typing on the computer. You know, I expected that the girl ended up having to kill her after all. So it would have been more dramatic, I think, if she like stabbed her and like killed her, and then the phone rang and she picked it up, or the phone was still there on the floor after the conversation, and she's like,
bless you.
So what do we have to do to end this? All bloody on her face, and or just what do we have to do to end this? And then it just ends. To be continued.
So, I would end it. Yes, Deanna also gets stabbed and she dies from that. But whenever she dies, Josh's like, hey, yo, fuck this, and then he goes in and just kills what's the other girl's name? The blonde girl.
Sam.
Yeah, he kills her.
You know what? I take it back. It turns out so she gets stabbed. She falls on the ground. It goes to the scene where the kid's typing on the computer, and then he hears a thump. And then it goes back to the scene of them wrestling around, and like this chick like about to like stab her, and freaking Josh comes out with the frying pan and just whacks her over the head, and just she knocks out and falls to the side. And then he's like, What just happened?" And then she picks up the phone again. Okay, how do we end this?
Okay, whenever Sam gets killed in my initial ending, Deanna somehow didn't die. She gets up and then she's like, "The fuck, Josh? What did you do? I thought Sam killed you." And then the phone rings.
That would have been pretty funny.
It's like, what the hell's going on here? At that point, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty solid, I think, endings. I mean, when I think about these, how we would have ended it. Sometimes I want to like go back even further, like 1/4 of the movie back, like like what would have been a cool ending is that like everyone got to survive, kind of. So the girl's drowning, and then she dies, and then right before everyone was about to die, it kind of like fades out, or not fades out, but the monsters people go away, and then she kind of wakes up and stuff like that, and they're kind of trying to walk out all together, and then all of a sudden that girl starts whistling again. You hear her whistle, and then it's like 4 of them surrounding all of them, and all of them kind of like find something on the ground to pick up as weapons, and then it kind of shows them like charging and them like about to attack, and then that's the end of part 2. And then part 2 figure out a way for them to dip out, and maybe one of them dies and the others escape or something. I don't know. I kind of like shows like that. I don't know why. I think I've seen TV shows where it was just like that literal scenario happens, and you're like, dude, there's no way they made it out of there alive. And then the very next episode happens, and they do the cheesy thing. I think's cheesy. They start the episode of them already escaped from all that craziness, so they don't even show you how they escaped. They just did. Maybe they could do something like that, but it's still a cool idea to think like, dude, what happens to them? Do they die? What's going on? Okay, I have to watch part 2 now. There was one episode, and I think it was like the final series or the second to final series of Supernatural. I think it was the first episode of the final series of Supernatural, but basically like the ending of that movie or that episode, like basically all of the fucking zombies or they're in the graveyard, and all the things start coming out from the graveyard, and they all kind of start surrounding them, and like the end of the episode it like zooms out, and it's just them two and like hundreds of freaking like hordes of basically zombies or something coming toward them, and that was the end of the season finale for that. And then the very first episode of the next season, they didn't do the cheap like, how are we going to get out of this? It like literally showed them fighting their way out until they got to a safe place, which I thought was really cool, because a lot of series would do the cop out and they didn't. So I thought that was really cool that they did that. What were we talking about again?
We're talking about.
Oh yeah, how we would have ended it.
Yeah. Everyone
Was that it?
dies.
Oh man, we got so excited and we're ranting that we forgot about our homies.
There's so much justice for Steve.
Huh?
Steve, see what's on your mind.
See, dude, I'm so sorry. I was just so heated about my homie Steve, man. Every time I see that chick now, I'm just like, dude, that was my homie Steve's girl. And y'all just wrote her out, man. Y'all wrote her out. Can't believe y'all did that to my homie Steve. But I'm gonna say it's late than never. Shout out to my homies at the Cinema Movie Podcast. You know, they're out there doing what they do. They actually do very similar to what we do. They review movies as well, but they actually do the full spectrum of movies, not just horror, niched like we are. Check them out on Spotify. They have new episodes coming out every Monday and Thursday. And Thursday is actually pretty cool because they usually do some kind of series in a sense, either being like a film studio series or an actual series. Like currently they're doing the Friday the 13th series, and I believe they're up to like part 6 at the moment, so they're pretty much almost done with this one. And I mean, who knows what they're gonna go with. I know one of the guys is a very big fan of Harry Potter, so it'd probably be funny to have them go through the entire Harry Potter series, get their review on all that. But go check them out, Cinema Movie Podcast. You can find them on anywhere you do streaming, Cinema Movie Podcast, and then their Instagram Cinema Movie Podcast, and Facebook Cinema Movie Podcast as well. Check them out, and hell yeah. So, what else do we got? Was that it? Was that the ending?
That was the ending.
Oh, swag. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I enjoyed the whole. I won't say I think. I don't know. I've been watching The Big Bang Theory recently, and I've noticed that their season finales are just the worst season finales I've ever seen in any TV show in my entire life. Like, they don't leave cliffhangers. Like, I felt bad for people that were watching that series genuinely and then found out the last episode they watched was the last episode of the series until 4 months later when they got to see the season premiere of the next show, which was basically just also another episode of Big Bang Theory. There was no specialness to it. I'm only to the first 3 seasons. I think I'm about to be in the 4th season, to be honest. And the 3rd season, yeah, they did a little kind of cliffhanger. They introduced a love interest, and so you're interested in if that's going to work out going to the next series. So that was pretty much it. And the more I watch it, the more I'm like, this is entertaining, sure, but some of these episodes are just kind of they seem dragged out. It's almost like, imagine an episode of a TV show where the character wakes up in the morning. He notices he has a sink full of dishes. He's about to wash the dishes, and he realizes he doesn't have soap. So then the whole episode's his adventure to go buy dish soap. And then at the end of the episode, he finally starts washing the first dish. And that's the end of the episode. And I know I made it sound interesting because I'm just good at being creative. But that's basically every episode of Big Bang Theory. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about certain things I watch too that I know are trilogies, like this movie. It's like, you already watched the first one, you need to know how it ends. We have a sensation as humans to want to know how something ends for some reason. And we watch bad TV shows and bad seasons of TV shows just to get over the hump to see how it all ends. Just for you to be like, it was alright. And so, yeah, it's kind of how I felt. By the time I watch all the thing, like I said, it's entertaining watching it all the trilogy all the way through, and it actually was more entertaining watching it a second time. The first episode, the first part, a second time, you see the subtle hints in there that kind of start flashing forward to what's about to come. But man, the third one's a blur for some reason. I can't really. I know. Yeah, she was doing that. She was doing that. She did that. They did that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it concluded. That's for sure.
And concluded. But then
I mean, it's a fun watch all the
it
way
was
through at least once. Like I said,
left it open for another movie.
yeah, they kind of left it open. Which I'm a little confused. Like, I never did the research, but is Fear Street like a book series, or is it also a book trilogy as well, or is this like one story out of the Fear Street series? Do you know?
Fear Street, I think it's just the overall book series. I think this wasn't really. I don't think it was based off one of the books. Just has the name Fear Street.
Really? That's weird. Why would you do that? I mean, I guess, yeah, like making an original story, but I mean, Fear Street, I'm sure was like Goosebumps, right? You know, every story was different. Actually, I'm pretty sure Fear Street was like an adult Goosebumps, kind of.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll look it up right now. Fear Street books. Go. Oh, I turned off the internet because it was eating my battery. Okay. Well, I'm just kidding. I won't check it out. You have to find out yourselves. So were you able to pick another movie that you want to review in 2 weeks?
That's a great question.
You know,
So
there's
I'm gonna
one
go.
thing I'm good at.
Well, what do you got?
It's good. It's great questions.
I want to give you the straight answers then. It's gonna be. I think it'd be cool to review a newer movie that just recently came out on HBO Max.
Maleficent or Malevolent?
Malignant
Malignant, that one.
by James Wan.
Oh, that's the one you want to do, for real?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, don't test me, dude. I'll watch it.
Watch it.
What? I'll do it.
Hope you
Wait.
sure hope so.
I will. And I'll review it too. What?
That's kind of the plan.
What?
That's part of the plan. You're gonna review it. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, I am.
Come in.
What are you gonna do about it?
Throw punches.
You're gonna review it with me?
Review it with you.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but I asked somebody about it recently, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that movie, it was all right." And I was like, "How dare you? I haven't even watched it yet. Now I have low expectations."
Low expectations. They're gonna go in with low expectations and they're gonna be blown away.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully
Maybe
that's what
maybe
it is.
not.
I'm going in with low expectations, so maybe it's gonna blow me away. It's gonna be that 5 I've been looking for.
Be that 5. It's gonna be that 6 slasher. Watch this.
I only think Insidious is the only movie I think I've given them 5. Which The Conjuring was a 4.5. It was a really good movie. But Insidious, man, I don't know what it is about that movie. Patrick
Wilson.
Patrick. But I mean, yeah, pretty much any movie Patrick Wilson's in, it's a 4 or above.
Unfortunately, Patrick Wilson doesn't come on Malignant.
Even that, did you ever watch that? I need to send you a link to that movie about like killing Fred's wife or something like that. The free YouTube movie. But it has Patrick Wilson in it. It's a really funny like movie where basically like it's like suburban like people, and then like one of the guys just flips out and kills one of the other friends' wives because she's just an obnoxious bitch, and she ends up slipping and falling and like basically injuring herself, and he thought she died, and then like she didn't, and then I guess when he found out she didn't, he was just like, nope, not gonna not let that happen. And he ended up killing her. And then everyone's like, dude, she's dead. And Patrick Wilson's character is like, all right, this is what we need to do. We need to get her body. We need to chop it up in pieces. And he's like, what? Hurry up, guys. And he was just calm and composure the whole time. And just like, we need to get rid of the body. And then it was a great performance. It's a great performance by Patrick Wilson. So
What would you expect?
You're right. You're right.
Patrick Wilson.
It's Patrick Wilson. I know.
Classic. As soon as you see his face,
you already know. Classic. Yeah.
he's gonna say a word.
You just got to make that face. You know it's him.
It's him.
You know he's on the screen. So anyway, my name is Mr. Fuentes. Actually, if any of my listeners are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I will be performing a show in Harlem City at the Harlem Theater. Harlem Theater, I think. Sorry if I'm butchering that. It's in Harlem City. It's over there near Fort Worth. We're in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. And I'll be performing at the Madness and Mayhem. It's a 2-day event, but I'll be on day number 1. And I'll be going on around 7:55 is the set time. So somewhere around that area. So if you get there around 7, you can see me perform. I do have a fun set. I feel like ready to go. And if anyone's in that area, I hope to see y'all there. Also, I don't know if I said it last time. I think I talked about my tour coming up, but the tour actually got rescheduled. So I will be with Nick on the next one on our normal, regularly scheduled program. So that's what's kind of going on with me musically. And if you didn't know, I do music. I'm a rapper, and you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you listen to music digitally. You just search Mr. Fuentes, and you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Mr. Fuentes361. And again, I appreciate y'all for listening and hearing us ramble about something that we're both kind of passionate about, which is horror. Horror. And thank you for letting us do this, guys. I appreciate it. And off to you.
I've been the bad guy in the cage.
You've been.
And the H is silent. If you want to follow the H, you can follow him on Instagram.
Follow the silent.
Do you want us to follow the silence of the H?
Silence of the H.
Nice. Silence of the H. I like it. Follow me at bad guy 2313 on Insta. And Twitter's NickH2313. And it's not really Friday 14 related, but check out some of the stuff that's been uploaded on Emuswa Productions. We have some new wrestling content, from wrestling shows, the highlights. There's this little show we call Ultimate Wrestling Unpackings, or it's either Frank or Andy doing they unpack Pokemon cards, or I don't know, they have like different ones with the wrestler.
Hell
Interesting
yeah.
stuff. It's good stuff if you haven't seen it. Or they do this wrestler of the week stream. Like the recent one was I believe his name's Alexander Crowley with his partner Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's on the Emuswa Productions on the YouTube channel for those who are listening to the pod.
What happened to the Nick H Chronicles?
The Bad Guy Chronicles is
The Bad
on
Guy Chronicles.
I haven't been able to do it because usually I'm always busy the day Frank wants to do it, or we're low on funds. Ballers on budgets.
Well, y'all together are the fun.
The fun. No, no, that said fun stuff. Fun.
Oh, the funds. Oh, sorry, my bad,
The
bro.
funds. Yeah. The funny part about that is that I play like the claw machine, and it's not even on the screen. I win shit off screen.
Oh, every time you're like on screen, you don't catch it. Every time you're off
Yeah,
screen, you
a
do
lot of
catch
times
it.
I'm by myself out and about just like playing the claw machine. It's like all right, but I don't film myself doing it.
And then
Sorry,
like Shaggy from the Scooby Doo movie, you're like skilled at the claw machine or what?
I guess you can say that.
What did he say in the Scooby Doo movie? He was like, I could have spent $10,000 on a college tuition. Instead, I spent $10,000 learning how to get stuffed animals from a crane machine.
Or saying like playing the claw machine is way cooler than French.
Hell yeah, it is, dude. You go to any freaking, if you take any girl to any arcade place with a freaking claw machine and you win her a teddy bear, like on the spot, like first date, like you're about to get married, bro. Unlike my homie Steve, who keeps getting stiffed every time by these writers of Stranger Things.
Oh boy.
Anyway, sorry. Had to get
But
that
anyway,
out.
yeah.
Justice for Steve.
That's just for Steve. That's why I wanted to promote. Thanks for tuning in, hearing the voices, or seeing the faces. Remember, folks, always bet on the bad guy. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace out, Mr. Fuentes, y'all.